everybody. Welcome to another episode of the Mansplaining Show, the show for guys by dudes. This is a show where basically two older guys try to give advice to the 22-year-old versions of themselves. I'm Dave.
I'm Jake. What's up, guys?
Hey, what's up, guys? For those of you who are tuning in for the first time, yeah, we're at episode 35. We've done like 34 other versions of this, which is I'm as surprised as any of you guys are. You know, like we thought this, a lot of people thought the show was going to end when Jake moved to Phoenix. Nope. Thanks, technology. It's still going. So
yeah.
it's not going anywhere. Let's see. Little promos out of the way. I don't have anything coming up this week. Well, we were supposed to be doing the live taping of an empty bar comedy set. I don't know if we're going to do that this Sunday. Maybe in a week or two, we'll probably be doing that at X Saloon out in Lakewood, Colorado. So hopefully that should be fun for you guys. Let's see. Other than that, there's just this show, the Disjointed Podcast, which I haven't done an episode in a couple of weeks, so I got to do that again. And that is pretty much it for any plugs. You don't have anything you need to plug, right?
Not at the moment.
Okay. I just dropped my little fume thing. Hold on.
Hold on. Yeah, it's how's that working for you?
It's great when I'm doing the show because I don't want to step out every couple of minutes. But for the most part, I'm still smoking, man. So,
I feel you.
Yeah, they're not going to be sending any endorsement money anytime soon.
There's not going to be some put in your promo code.
Yeah, exactly. Mansplaining, like, who is this? Why do you keep asking for this shit?
No, I work with this younger kid, and he's like, I've been complaining about smoking. I'm like, I gotta quit, yada yada yada. Because whenever I do anything strenuous, which my job does, I mean, sometimes I gotta, do something that, that's pretty strenuous. I sound like I'm like fucking giving birth.
Right.
So fucking, and he's just like, hey, like this is like. I love people who give you advice but have no idea what the fuck they're talking about.
Oh yeah.
He's just like,
hey, that's what the show is.
Yeah, right. We made a whole show around it. No, he's like, yeah, man, you like get a vape and then like get like 9%, and then like just whittle it down, and then all of a sudden within a couple months you just won't vape anymore. You'd be done. I'm like, yeah, that's not how this works.
Nah, let me tell you what happens is you start on 9% and you get used to 9%. So you're sucking that down all the time. And a cigarette's supposed to be like 6%, then 4%. I'm like, they're making 9 now? Jesus, man. You have any how difficult it is to keep that vape stick out of your hand? Like, I got to charge up mine because I can't smoke in Jenny's car when we do our trip.
Yeah.
So I'm going to be back on Juul for a little bit, but, whatever. I'm sorry.
Juul was great. Juul was great until they fucked it up because of, dude, this whole, like, the kids, the children. It's like, so because you're a terrible parent and your kid's vaping, I now have to be punished for it.
You know what's interesting is the other freaking vape sticks, they don't have do they have those restrictions or just Juul? Because Juul was their own thing, and then like the tobacco companies came out with their version of vapes, and those ones aren't regulated. Those ones are like candy cane fucking, hey, give this to your little brother flavor. That's basically what those things have.
Oh, dude, you go into a vape store, they have like the shit for it that you can do anything, like cotton candy lemonade, all kinds of crazy shit like that. Like one of the guys that I worked with was like, yeah, mine tastes like Fruity Pebbles. I'm like, what the fuck, dude? You know what I mean? Like, Fruity Pebbles is like, the shit people vape nowadays is so childish.
Yeah.
Mine tastes like Cookie Crunch. Like, get the fuck out of here.
Get out of here with that.
Yeah.
Do you understand? Let's put it this way.
Like
yeah, exactly. If I ever have to go into detox, they're going to be like, what you going in for? Eating fatty foods, smoking all the time. What flavor did you smoke? Like cigarette flavored. That's what I smoked. Yeah. I'm like, oh, you didn't have cotton candy? I'm like, no, because I didn't want to be addicted to fucking Fruity Pebble vapes. Like, nobody's going to be sympathetic for that. Even all the doctors are like, get the fuck out of here with that.
Yeah, I don't want to go to a fucking like a county fair and get fucking like a Nick fit because I smell cotton candy.
Right.
Yeah, you know what I mean? It's fucking dumb.
You start going through withdrawals and everything and shaking. Holy shit, have you ever seen somebody go through like heroin withdrawals?
Have I seen it?
Yeah.
No.
Oh my God. Dude, I remember.
Bad?
Oh yeah, I remember when I was a cabbie, I was picking up this guy. He seemed like a normal guy and everything. He was like waving me down. Like I got the call to go pick him up at his apartment complex, but he was out on the street looking for me. And he's like, "Listen, I'm gonna be
Yeah.
late. I can't be late, otherwise they're not gonna give it to me. All right, man." And this dude was going like he's trying to be calm, and then he would have this meltdown where he was like a 7-year-old child throwing a fit, and it was fucking scary, just because he was
Yeah.
in so much turmoil and so much pain, and I didn't even know where the fuck I was taking him to. But they got the address, and I'm like, all right, let's go. I drop him off. There was a methadone clinic, and he was already going through withdrawals, and he thought
Oh.
he was going to be missing out on the day's dose or whatever. And yeah, he was just flipping the fuck out, man. I'm like, oh, jeez,
Ooh.
it is not
That was
good.
yeah. No, I worked in Pillheads before. I never seen it as far as the withdrawals part, but I worked in Pillheads, and there's a kid that I knew back in New Hampshire. He was one of those like he was a string bean dude, but he was strong as fuck. Like
Right?
he was just one of those farm boy strong kids. You know what I'm
Mm,
saying? And he was all about pills and shit, right?
mm-hmm.
And then his mom got methadone, so he would come to work with like methadone lollipops and all kinds of shit like that,
Mm.
and just be all fucked up. And I had a fucking toothache one day, real bad, and he's just like, "Hey man, you could have like a chunk of my lollipop." And I thought about it for a second, and I was like, "No." I'm
Yeah,
like, I know how this is gonna go.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Dude,
I
what
know
happened,
exactly
Jake? Oh,
how
I
this
had a
is gonna
lollipop
go.
one day. It was all downhill from there. Like, how many
Yeah,
licks does it take to sell all your shit?
Jesus.
1, 2, 3. I am homeless. 3. Like,
the crunch of 3 is me with a dick in my mouth.
yeah, exactly.
Oh man.
Man, I see.
But
It's pretty weird. Like the first time I saw young homeless people was actually it wasn't in Denver. It was in Tempe. That's
yeah,
what they used to call mill rats, and now it's just there's just a lot more of them there and stuff. And it's just I don't know. It's weird. I mean, it's something we definitely got to address. But I see like a lot of young folks. Like I could tell. Like, gosh, what was it? Remember, I was doing laundry. I think it was like over. It was off of Broadway in rural. I think there was a laundromat that I used to go to, and I remember this one dude. He didn't look homeless and stuff, but he was like he's walking towards he needed change or something, and he was walking into
yeah,
the laundromat. And I was out by the car. He didn't notice me and everything, but a car drove past him, and he freaking flicks a cigarette at the car. I'm like, and then he goes and sits on where the benches outside, and when he sits down, he like flops down on the bench and everything. And it was just really weird.
yeah,
Like it's kind of like he's really angry and he's upset, but it's not something you would see an adult do, And he's like, like
yeah,
he's waiting for somebody to say, "Hey, what's wrong?" And I'm like, "Yeah, nobody gives a shit." and I don't know what happened. I think he went in. He asked if he can, break $1 or something like that, and then he eventually left. But like he wasn't hitting people up for change and everything. But it was really odd that I saw somebody who maybe at one point in his life there might have been, whether they were friends of his or family or what, or maybe a little mixture of both, that there was somebody around him that fed into that angry cycle or emotional state that he would be in, and there might be somebody to
yeah,
help walk him out of that. But now those people weren't around, and it's like it was this weird thing, like he was lost. Like he's angry at the world now, but it's like, no, you didn't understand that not everybody's going to bend to your will or even have any compassion whatsoever. And that's kind of a sad thing, really, I think. But, I don't know what to. Either way, the thing is that kid, and I think he was probably about 22, 23, but he didn't have coping skills to deal with just basic day to day life. And that's it's not something it's something you have to work towards, and it's kind of hard to learn as you get older. And I don't know whatever happened to that dude, but I see a lot more people like that now. You know, like they
yeah.
don't have that, they don't have certain that have the certain skills to deal with stuff. And I mean, imagine a lot of it's got to be mental illness, right? You know,
No, I mean, yeah. I mean, I don't know, man. I think that we're talking like the millennial version, like I'm not to sound like, again, not to sound like an old fucking fart. We're like, oh, these millennials,
Mm-hmm.
but like that whole generation was honestly raised like shit,
Yeah.
and they were a lot of them were coddled. A lot of them had helicopter parents. So whenever anything was fucking wrong, they were like, they always had mommy or daddy being like, "What's wrong? Oh my god!" You know.
Mm-hmm.
And when they became adults, I mean, this isn't me talking shit about it. This is me actually kind of feeling bad
Mm-hmm.
because they never were able to, they never got the tough love that they needed. They never got that.
Yeah, there's
That was
definitely an
that was
overcorrection, you know.
yeah, and they don't know how to like fucking deal with it. They just don't know how to deal with it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm not immune to that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it took me. I mean, I was a man. I used to freak out constantly. I was the guy at work who would be throwing shit
Mm-hmm.
because I was fucking pissed. One time I bent a fucking baking pan over my knee like a baseball bat. Just bent it over my knee and fucking threw it across the kitchen because like I was just having a bad day.
Right.
But like people were freaked out, like what the fuck, man, you know? And
It's like I
I
got
get
angry.
it, yeah.
You
And
guys
then
not
there
been
was
around
one day,
anger before? Shit, you know.
yeah. But there was one day where like it all kind of stopped. One day when I was working at that liquor store in Denver, right? There's a kid named Justin. He's a really nice guy, kind of quiet and stuff,
Mm-hmm.
but he's a manager. And I got fucking mad one day. I guess like they sent me out with 8 cases of Bud Light, but it should have been Budweiser. And the customer was a fucking dickhead about it. Just go
Yeah.
all the way back, blah blah blah. And when I came back, I'm fucking yelling at everybody. You fucking idiot! You fucked this up, blah blah blah. And like I kicked open the door to the fucking to the freeze to the refrigerator to the cooler, right? The
Mm-hmm.
big ass fucking like walk-in door style shit, just kicked it open blindly. If there was anybody standing behind it, they would have got smashed in the face of that door.
Right.
But luckily there wasn't. But he saw that. He was in the cooler and saw it.
Mm-hmm.
And he walked up to me. He's like, "Yo, man, why you gotta like always be flipping out all the time? Like this is fucking stupid. Like don't why." Like but like he said it like in a way where like it oddly like it clicked. Where I was just like, "Yeah, this is kind of fucking dumb."
Yeah.
Like what am I doing? And then after that, I never really did that anymore. You know what I'm saying? Like I get frustrated at work and I'll talk shit sometimes when I'm mad.
Right.
But like it's one of those things too where I don't do what I mean I used to get fucking furiously pissed off.
Mm-hmm.
And now I don't see the point in it no more because like I don't know, it just doesn't seem like it's a smart thing to do because people fuck up. Because imagine if you fucked up and then somebody came at you with that kind of energy. You'd be
I
like,
would
what the fuck,
probably,
man?
I would probably lash back at him. You know, it's,
Yeah,
I don't know.
yeah. But like,
I get that, and for me, I spent so many years of my life like holding all that shit in, which
yeah,
that's not good either, by the way, guys, because
no,
eventually what happens is one little thing happens when you finally get to that breaking point, and it's something that does not warrant the amount of fucking hell that you're about to bring upon everybody. Like,
oh, it's
hey,
like an avalanche, dude. It's like
yeah,
an avalanche of fucking hate,
yeah, exactly. They're
for
gonna be
lack of a
like,
better
Dave, do you see
term.
the new Spider-Man? And I'm like, you know what? And I just fucking like start losing my shit.
Start
Yeah,
yelling, "Fuck fighters!"
yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's kind of weird. I have a hard time trying to figure out between being aggressive and assertive versus a fucking psycho. You know,
Yeah,
because there's a lot of shit that goes wrong, like at work, and work for the most part is pretty good. I am pretty content and fulfilled at work for the most part. It's just the only time I think I get frustrated is that everybody wants to do something different with that business other than what I would want to do, and I'm like, I just gotta have to kind of go along with it. But
yeah,
it goes down to like, hey, I asked for something, I didn't quite get what I wanted, but I got a lot more than anybody else gets there, so I should be happy, and I am. But I also know that like I was doing some writing last night, and I had to remember like that whole thing at Elitch's when I was doing that little show there, is that even when I had everything going for me, I was still pissed off because I found
yeah.
reasons to stay pissed off. So I also know that that's like a distraction in order to keep getting shit done. So I don't know. A lot of that type of thinking is really coming more noticeable. That like I'm on week 3 of the testosterone shots, right?
Okay, how's that
So
going?
far it's pretty good. I wish I could say I was in feeling better, but I fucked something up in my neck a while back, and I don't know if it's like a torn or a sprained tendon or something. You know, it's not like there's a lot of pain there, and I still got full mobility. It's just it's been achy, you know.
Okay.
And I'm like, okay, what is it? Is it a vertebrae in the neck? What's going on? Is it because you know, being really inflexible? Do I need to do some more yoga? Will that help? That type of thing, you know. Because I know it hurts more when I'm sitting down. If I'm standing up, it doesn't hurt so much, and if I'm moving around, it doesn't move. But if I'm standing still, it fucking hurts. So, but
Yeah.
other than that, things are going much better. Like I'm feeling better, have more energy, I get better rest, better sleep, all this other stuff. My shirts are starting to feel a little different when I wear them. You know, like I haven't lost any weight according to the scale, but uh, it was weird. I put on a shirt the other day and it fit really well, better than it had been. You know, and I'm like, all right, well that's cool. So you
Yeah.
know, but either way, there's a lot of things where it's kind of like naturally, if you're taking testosterone, your libido is going to start to increase. You know, and I devoted a lot of time of my life, especially in my 20s and 30s, on just getting laid. Like
Yeah.
way too much time is what I dedicated to it. And so part of me is like that engine's kind of getting revved up again. Then I'm like, okay, what am I feeling right now? What is it that I'm looking for? Okay, but is that it's kind of like you know, like Rogan talks about, like when people eat junk food, that's just mouth pleasure. Like that food tastes great when it's in your mouth, but once you swallow it, it's gonna make you feel like shit. You know, so like
Yeah.
eating a bunch of cheeseburgers and ice cream and stuff like that isn't gonna make you isn't gonna make me happy anymore, and it really hasn't. So I was thinking, I'm like, all right, am I gonna spend the day just watching porn or something like that? You know, and I'm like, well, that's not gonna make me happy. So
Yeah.
there's no outside stimulus that's gonna like stop this. So like I'm like, all right, I got to pick up my guitar. I got to start writing some ideas and just thoughts out and stuff. So you know, I'm like, oh okay, you know, like now I have that wherewithal, like what I didn't have in my 20s when I would go on a massive binge. Um, Now if I could see the stuff building, I'm like, all right, so this is a situation that I'm in. This is what I got to do. You know, that whole thing. And so now that I'm not feeling tired all the time, you know, and I'm starting to give all this energy, all these things, these problems that I didn't have the energy to face, now I have the energy, and now they're popping up. So
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, you know, but it's been pretty good so far. It's been pretty healthy for the most part. It's like, all right, this hurdle has always been in front of you. You just hadn't had the desire to freaking get over it. So let's do it, you know. So, but yeah, that's as far as for the most part, man. That the TRT stuff, like it's a pain in the ass to get on it. You get your doctor's gonna make you go through some hoops before they put you on it, but so far so good, man. You know, so talking to with this
All
other
right.
guy, he was saying he was like, yeah, it's pretty good in the initially, but you're gonna start feeling the dips after a couple months of it. I'm like, oh really? He's like, yeah. So he was taking like a tablet and then to help supplement the shots or something to kind of keep him at an even level, and I'm like, all right, that sounds like, well, let's put it this way: the little vials that I have, I can't. I'm only supposed to get like half a. Is it half a milligram? I think. I don't know. Whatever the one is, it's the half of that. So,
Okay.
but there's always some a little left over in the bottle. And so even like the last time, I'm like, I wonder if I should try to get more, as much of this as possible, into the syringe,
Yeah.
and give myself like twice the amount and see what that's like. And I'm like, yeah, man, that's if that's what I'm doing with syringes, I don't think I want to get pills and stuff. I'm like, all right, I'm supposed to take one of these a day,
Yeah.
so 3 ought to be good, right? Yeah, let's just do that. So,
Yeah. You're not reusing them, are you?
nope.
Good.
Why do you
Okay.
ask?
Don't do that.
Reusing
Huh?
needles?
Yeah.
Nope.
Good. Don't do that.
No,
I killed my friend.
really.
Yeah. My friend Lou, the one who's in my photo with me.
Yeah. What happened?
Yeah. He was a diabetic. That's why he had the needles. He was a legit diabetic. He wasn't
Okay.
like a drug addict. He was a diabetic.
Hmm.
And the thing was that he was being lazy, which was like his downfall. I love him to death. I still do, but like And he was he was an amazing comic talent. He's fucking amazing. He's fucking hilarious. But he was fucking lazy, man. And he would just reuse his needles for his fucking insulin. And he kept on doing that, and it fucked with his heart and killed him.
Really?
That's what got him. Yeah, it affected his heart.
Huh.
So yeah,
that's weird. Well, I got all these. I got a whole pack of it. Like they gave me way more needles than I really needed. But I'm like, all right.
That's good.
Yeah, it's really weird. Like there's one needle to actually put the stuff in the syringe, and another needle to actually inject it. It's kind of weird. And the bottles themselves are these little tiny things. They're maybe about like this big. You know.
Okay. Where do you gotta put it?
It said anywhere in a muscle tissue. So I usually alternate and put it into a thigh. And so it's kind of weird. I've gotten a lot used to. I'm getting fairly used to giving myself a shot now. So I'm like, all right, how far does this thing should go? I'm like, all right, well, this needle that's about this big, it's about halfway or 3/4 into my leg. I'm like, all right, well, I'm gonna hit bone eventually, so that's a good spot for it. Let me just press the stuff in. But yeah, I don't know. It's pretty good. I just really wish my shoulder pain would fucking go away. That's all. I'm like, man, I hope I didn't fuck something up a couple of weeks ago, like in my neck, and now it's just freaking, I don't know.
It's probably nerve. It could be a nerve thing too.
Yeah, it could be. It's probably it's.
I've got a bad neck.
Yeah.
That's like So plus mine's gonna be genetic. My mom had neck issues. I'm probably gonna have to do at some point. So.
Just deteriorating discs or something, or.
You know that thing Peyton Manning basically had? Okay, well, Peyton Manning had like a neck issue, like with his, and I think it's that. I think it's like a deteriorating thing or whatever, and you got to get it fixed, and but that's a down the road thing. Probably like when I'm like 50 or some shit. So
after you get your 4th Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'll do it. I'm on the pain and mountain track and stuff. So, hey man. Oh, so this kind of went along with the title of this episode. We probably should have mentioned this first because I didn't know what Jake was talking about. It says, don't take the black pill. So I want to break down the types of pills, like between red pill, blue pill, and apparently because that wasn't enough, the internet had to create more pills for other people to take. So go ahead. Fire away.
All right. So like so like the Matrix, movie The Matrix, right? Where he gets offered the blue pill or the red pill. In the movie, it's like, do you want to keep on living the way you're living? In this scenario, like you take the blue pill, right? That's the blue pill. The red pill is basically, do you really want to go? Like, do you really want to see what's going on? Like, do you really want to see, reality and see what's happening?
Right.
Take the red pill. Like nowadays, like people that are like red pill shit nowadays is like people that are like, not to get us nuked off this fucking channel or nothing, but people who call out like the vaccine and it doesn't work or. Fauci's lying, shit. That's like a red pill thing.
Right.
Then there's like there's a thing called the clown pill, where like you take where it's basically you accept the fact that everything's fucked, but you think it's hilarious, so you just laugh at it.
Right.
It's very nihilistic. It's a nihilistic pill, basically.
Yeah, that's nothing new. That's just being a nihilist, I think.
Yeah, but
or
like
just a cynical asshole.
but a nihilist is someone who's always going to be a nihilist, no matter what. Like we can be having great times. It can be like the Roaring '20s or something, and they'll be like. Just fucking everything's stupid. They just do whatever the fuck they want.
Oh, that's like your old roommate.
Yeah, but like clown pill basically is like you're a normal person, but you've had it, and then all of a sudden you're just like fuck this, nothing. I don't give a fuck about anything, but yet I think I find it hilarious. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Basically
people who voted for Trump the first time.
It kind of sort of like out of spite, I want to see I want to watch the world. I find Trump hilarious, so I want to watch the world burn. So I vote for him. Yeah, that's basically a clown pill. Black pill is basically like you're very pessimistic about everything. There is no light at the end of the tunnel. You think that everything is shit, and it's always going to be shit. There's no upside to nothing. Like you just kind of, it's almost like you gave up on any kind of like fulfillment or happiness. And I think a lot of people nowadays, because of what's going on over the past like 2.5 years, have taken that pill. I think they have, and I try not to. even though there's times when I feel like I have, but it's one of those things where like if you take a current snapshot of where you're at, if you can kind of get down on it on what's going on in your life, but yet if you kind of like think about the future, then if you can see any bright spots in it, then you can avoid taking that pill.
Mm.
You know, so because like lately I've been feeling very pessimistic. Yet not completely. Like when I go to work, like because I feel like I'm like doing something right now. Like I feel like I'm fixing shit. You know, I'm developing a skill, and that's what kind of keeps me going as far as the job goes. Because the job doesn't suck. You know, I mean, I've had worse. Trust me. And this one's actually not that bad.
Right.
But so that kind of keeps me going. But yet at the same time, like when I come home, I don't do anything. I also sleep in a room that's also doubles as my two nieces' playroom. So that's a little demoralizing when there's like kids' toys and shit all over the room you're sleeping in, and that's a bit of a bummer. You know, you know what I mean?
Right.
You have your own personal space, but like it's not. This isn't permanent. It's not permanent.
Random review who just chimed into the chat said blue pills all day. Hey, if you want to keep things normal, man, that's probably the way to go. You know, it's so funny. I keep forgetting about what the blue pill and red pill means and stuff. And then after watching Matrix Revolution, where he just has all these bottles and bottles of blue pills to keep things going, and I'm like, okay, all right. Yeah. Like I like Matrix Revolution, but man, there was
haven't seen it yet.
It's pretty good. It's not the most subtle movie. There are certain things where they kind of throw things out there and put a harsh stamp on it. But overall, I liked the movie. I thought it was pretty good. Yeah. So the black pill. What is the black pill then? That's just that's as opposed to the clown pill. They're just like, nah, fuck this, and we're done.
It's similar, but yet you don't find the humor in anything. You're just so fucking. You're pessimistic as fuck. Like there's nothing good. You're always in a bad mood. You know, all that stuff is, you know, there's nothing good in the world. Like you fucking, you know what I'm saying? Like you gave up in a way.
Okay.
So that's and a lot of people have taken that pill. You know, and you know, it's just not a good. It sucks. You don't want to do that because it kills any kind of like, I don't know, motivation you could have to better your life in a way. You know.
Well, it also frees up the responsibility of anything going bad either because you stop caring, which is kind of an easy cop out, which is why that shit's pretty inviting to believe in. I see. I'm trying to. Now that you mentioned, I'm trying to avoid the pessimistic. I guess the black pill, just because like I understand why a lot of people are scared. Like I get why they're scared because especially like lockdowns, masks. What should I do? Then I mean, granted, this is all stuff I've heard from the internet. It's not shit that I've actually seen out on the street. Black pill sounds like it's for crybabies, especially in the U.S. Yeah, who are into metal, but
yeah,
exactly.
No, the blue pill sucks. I don't know how anyone can take the blue pill.
I don't know.
You know,
that also depends. Hey, random Rick review. Where are you from, pal? But no, it's just weird. It's because I got to the point where I'm like, hey, I've done what I can, and I'm trying to be, as healthy as I can. Well, actually, that's not true because I'm not exercising on a daily basis. But there's a certain thing where I'm like, all right, I've done what I can. Whatever happens, happens. And the only thing I could do is take care of the next obstacle that comes in front of me. And so I guess it can come across is that I don't give a shit about what anything happens around me as far as when like it came with like COVID and all the other stuff. I do, but it's just, I guess I'm not try not to let it affect me that much, but I think it actually,
yeah.
So I don't know. Dude, we could have food delivered to our house. It's such a horrible world. Yeah, who do you think delivers that?
Yeah. Me too. I've done DoorDash.
Yeah, exactly.
No, dude, that's not a way to live though. Like then.
Yeah, I know. I mean, granted, say we were essential. That's why.
Yeah, dude. I delivered during that Dude, I delivered DoorDash during the very beginning of that pandemic. Dude, you want to talk about crazy? It was fucking. It was like I saw shit that will stick with me forever. Like driving down Broadway in Denver, driving down Broadway on a Friday night, and I'm the only fucking car that I could see. because there's no one on the fucking road. There's no one, going to work. Dude, I remember I was at work. I was delivering. I had a delivery in DTC.
Mm-hmm.
I'm into Capitol. I'm in Capitol Hill. I have delivery to DTC. I got to DTC in fucking like 10 minutes.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, there's nobody on the fucking road. It was bizarre.
Yeah,
it was kind of great, but at the same time, like it was very dystopian. It was like I Am Legend outside. It was weird.
Yeah.
What do you?
Oh, he says no free leave for me. But man, those first 8 months were crazy. I was like, don't even park next to me, you COVID haver.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. There was a lot of that because we didn't really know. I think you know what it was when I stopped being worrying so much is that when people around me that I worked with started getting COVID, but I didn't, and because I thought, man, like if there's a God, he really hates anybody who works in food service. That's for sure. Like. Because I'm like, there's no way I'm going to be able to take 2 weeks off. there's no way that something's going to happen where like, hey, Dave, you don't have to work for a couple of weeks. Why don't you just try to get better? That was never going to happen for me. So I was like, all right, fuck it.
Well,
do you remember how?
But also like, I worked through the whole thing, and I don't know if I ever got it. I might have gotten COVID at some point between now and then, but I don't. There was like a stretch of like not this Christmas but last Christmas where I got kind of sick and I thought I thought I had it, but the test never came back positive. It just came back negative. But they were like, "You may have it, so stay home." And I was like, "Oh, okay, what the fuck?" So it was fucking weird.
Oh yeah, I remember that. Yeah, because they're like,
yeah, like
it might have been a false positive or a false negative. Either point is we don't want to do another one and just stay home. That'll make things easier on the rest of us.
Yeah.
Like, thanks, science. We appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks. I got paid for it though, kind of. I mean, I worked in a tipped job, so like they paid me a flat rate of like the minimum wage.
Oh, that's good.
Not tip minimum wage, but like regular minimum wage.
Right.
Which I think at the time was like, I think it was 15. I don't know. I can't remember. But that's what they paid me for like 2 weeks, or for like a week and a half or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know. It was strange. I hated it. The reason why I hated it was because it was during our busy season where you make the money.
Yeah.
So I missed 2 weeks of that. I was like, fuck. And everyone, some people were like, oh, you just wanted the time off. Like, actually, no. If this was like early January where we're dead, yeah, I would have been like, fuck yeah.
I would love to see the statistics for the last Omicron wave that happened over New Year's. See how many people that got sick actually worked in the food service industry. That there had to be at least 40, I'm going to say 40-50%. Because there were so many servers and so many bartenders are like, I don't think I can come in. I got the COVID, so. And
no, but there is another pill though.
Yeah, right.
I forgot to mention this one. There is another. It's called the white pill.
The white pill, okay.
Yeah, the white pill is basically optimism. Like when you start seeing optimism, like when you start seeing the things that you know are bullshit be exposed as bullshit. And it gives you that weird sense of optimism, like I fucking knew this is the thing. I knew something was wrong with this, and everyone's seeing it now finally. Or what I'm saying, or you start seeing things kind of like they start to work out.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Things that you like didn't know if they were going to work out, and then all of a sudden they're slowly starting to. It's like, oh fuck, okay, that's a white pill.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, where did you get all this stuff from? I'm just curious.
Michael Malice is a big fan of that shit.
Oh, okay, all right.
He talks about it a lot.
He's like really funny when he's ripping on like gosh, who was the guy? He used to be a fucking he was really big in the W days, and now he's like freaking lashes out at people from his penthouse in freaking New York City. Gosh, what was his name?
Oh, fucking Oberman.
Oberman, yeah. No, Cheney. No, he's shooting at people from his ranch in Wyoming. That's different.
Yeah. That fucking guy.
Yeah. Dude, he is the most gangster fucking politician that he shoots a guy in the face and the guy apologizes for getting in the way of his gun.
Well, dude, people forget about that whole thing. Not just that part. That's crazy. Yeah, absolutely. Shoots him basically point blank range with buckshot. And then he comes out of the hospital. The guy apologizes for getting in the way of his gun.
Right.
That part's crazy. But what people forget is that when he shot him, he was probably drunk. Right? So when the cops show up, to talk to him. By the way, he is the sitting vice president.
Yeah.
He's not the ex-vice president. He is the sitting vice president.
Mm-hmm.
He told the cops to come back in about 8 or 9 hours. So
They did.
yeah, so that they couldn't tell if he was drunk.
Oh.
Which is fucking hilarious to me.
Telling you, the most gangster president that we've seen, or I would call him a vice president, a politician.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Patton Oswalt had this fucking great bit on Werewolves and Lollipops, where he was talking about oh man, what have the Republicans going to get their ass kicked in the midterms? And he's like, I don't know. Like, get every week there's there's always that with Bush and Cheney walking through the Rose Garden, and it's like the Dukes of Hazzard. They just take the General Lee and jump it over the Bill of Rights, and like if they could just do a freeze frame when they're walking in the press conference, like, can you believe these two draft dodgers started a war that we had no business being in? How are they gonna get out of this pickle? And they're like, and I'm like, that'll be interesting, but I don't know, man.
Yeah.
I try not to. We were supposed to be already, because I work at a pretty big place, that getting ready to do the whole Vax card or vaccination thing, because they wanted to be prepared for whatever the Supreme Court came down with. And so I haven't talked to him, to any of the bosses yet, but I'm like, all right, so the Supreme Court said no, they can't be done through an executive order, that has to be through an act of Congress as far as the vaccine mandate, As they said, it wasn't unconstitutional, but the president can't say it. It has to go through Congress, which basically means it's not going to go through because Congress ain't doing shit right now, other than basically doing insider trading.
Yeah, right? Oh, my God.
Listen, I would like to find a way to fix your problems, but I got to make this money. Jeez, man, I just don't have the time. You know how long it takes to count billions? Shit. I think what was it? They said that there was a report. I think it was a Breaking Points where there was they showed all of the congressmen that beat the S&P 500 for the past year. Pelosi's one of them. Dan Crenshaw was another one too, which was kind of disappointing because I like that guy. Yeah, I know.
Man.
But the Sagar was like, only 52 hedge funds beat Wall Street last year, right? There's more how is it that Congress did better than most of the top hedge funds out of New York? I got a feeling.
Did you hear what the governor of New York said?
What's
Even
that?
though I can't stand this fucking idiot, she's a dummy. She's she's creepily into vaccine.
Okay.
Right? To the point where she went to a church. She's the one that took over for Cuomo after he got her thrown out.
Right.
So she was the lieutenant. She was the lieutenant governor. Now she's the governor.
Right.
First, one of her first things she did, she went to a church and basically told the parishioners there that Jesus would want you to be vaccinated. You know what I'm saying? Using God and stuff. It's fucking weird. Plus, she's got one of those really white girl trashy necklaces with
Oh, that says vaxxed.
Yeah. I grew up in that fucking part of the world, man. Every trashy white chick that's very fucking basically she's they're all like that. What's that girl from fucking Dr. Phil who's like, catch me outside? How about that?
Yeah.
They're just like her.
Oh yeah.
Right? They all had that necklace where it's their name in cursive.
Right.
They all had that, but instead of hers was vaxxed. But no, but she came out and actually said something that was fucking. It's amazing how I kind of agree with some of the shit some of these super left people do.
That's fair.
And I do, but for different reasons. But I agree with them. And
Dude's it's called class, LOL.
Yeah. Yeah, right, yeah. She wanted to basically put a ban on anybody who's in this is for the state of New York. She wanted to put a ban on any politician who was elected into office from collecting any outside money while in office. That means none of this incentive trading shit, none of this taking money from fucking or also getting promised jobs after you leave. So shit like that, where if you help me now, I'll give you this money later, type of shit. She wanted to put a ban on that.
I don't know how you're gonna do that,
but yeah, I don't know how you do that, but but at least at least what you want to do is there. You know what I'm saying? I get that because that's a problem now. You know what I'm saying? But I don't know how it's one of those things that it's fucked up. But how do you fix it without literally destroying someone's rights as a person. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? It's weird,
Yeah.
but
Well, I don't know. I
I
think the
like
only
where she's
thing, like,
going. Yeah,
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I like where she's going with it. That blew me away. I was like, I can kind of get behind this, and not totally, but I kind of like where she's going with it.
Hmm.
But that's one of the few times, and it's the government. I mean, I lived there for 9 years. Basically, grew up in New York.
Yeah.
You know, not the city. Everyone, whenever you say New York, everyone thinks the city. I didn't know.
That's what I think,
I
but
grew up
that's
like,
where I lived. So.
yeah, I grew up like 4 hours north of the city, like in like a town called Utica, New York.
Mm.
So, but they're from the age of 12 to like 19.
Yeah, it's
So,
like the last stop on every train, right? It
yeah,
all
pretty
ends
much,
in
yeah.
Utica. I'm like, oh. It's like the North Vegas of New York City, or of New York. When Hunter
Yeah.
Thompson says North Vegas is the place where you end up when you fucked up once too often. Like,
Yeah, like it basically, if you get caught doing anything shitty in New York City, like
mm-hmm.
really bad, they send you to prison, and the prisons are where I used to be. It's where I used to live.
Yeah, fair.
Like, yeah, the New York State the New York State maximum security prison in Marcy was like down the street from my high school.
Mm.
So,
Here's something. Speaking of talking of black pills and politics and stuff, I need to. I wish there was a way. Maybe if there is, maybe hey, a random Rick review. Maybe you know how to do this because I'm an old guy, but there's got to be a way to freaking clear out all of the things that YouTube thinks I'm gonna want to watch.
oh yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, hey, I need to reset. Please stop sending me videos of Tim Pool. I'm already pissed off as it is. Like, there's.
Yeah, yeah. That's why
After,
you gotta break it up. You gotta break it up. Like I watch sports stuff nowadays.
Yeah.
This guy named there's this guy that I've been watching lately. He's hilarious. This is his name. Get it? All right, ready? His name is Barry McCockner. And yeah, and he got famous because a couple times he would write a tweet. What he'll do is he'll take like a high profile like NFL analyst, like a guy who breaks stories, like an Adam Schefter or Ian Rappaport, one of these guys that's like big into like whenever someone's about to get traded, they're the ones that break the news. Like, oh my God, this guy's gonna get traded.
Mm-hmm.
He took that guy's photo, went on Twitter with a shitty handle. So you definitely, if you even look at the tweet for more than 5 seconds, you realize this totally is not this guy.
Yeah.
It's like a picture of Adam Schefter, and then it's like NFL too cool for school. You know what I'm saying? Like you just know it's not him.
Mm-hmm.
And he would like write stories about how like James Harden, when he was fat playing for the Rockets, got made fun of by Chris Paul and said he had man boobs, and he ran out of the gym crying. Right, which didn't happen.
Right.
But like Skip Bayless ran with it and said it during a show like it was true. Like he'll what's that called? He'll troll these fucking guys, and they'll run with it as if it's a real story.
Who was the dude you said you knew that good? That you knew a guy who was trolling Dean Cain on Twitter years ago.
Dude, yeah, Mark Gallagher. This is guy Calmick out of Boston. Mark Gallagher, right?
Right.
He has like one of my favorite jokes of all time about Batman.
Right.
He goes, of course, Batman became Batman. Of course, Bruce Wayne decided to be Batman. The way his parents died when he was like 9, right? He has billions of dollars. Like, what do you want to do now, Bruce? He's like, I want to fight crime and be a bat. Yeah, I want to be a bat. His parents died when he was like in his mid-20s. He'd be like, well, I'm gonna invest the money.
Yeah.
I'm going to diversify my portfolio. Right. He would never fight crime. What the fuck would he fight crime for?
Right.
But no, he started the Dean Cain thing where he's like, he would make posts about like how he's outside a Chinese man's theater eating out of a dumpster. And he got into a fist fight with Danny Bonaducci, and all kinds of shit like this. And then he got a cease and desist from Dean Cain. And I liked on Facebook the whole like his thing.
Right.
But because of that, Dean Cain took over that, and now once in a while I'll get like a post from Dean Cain about how awesome
it is to be Dean Cain.
Yeah, real Dean Cain. I'm like, fucking shit. But like,
there's one like just beat up a busboy. Like,
yeah. But he would say just the funniest shit about it. Like I got asked for my autograph in line at a restaurant. Just kidding. I was at Dunkin' Donuts buying a coffee, and I just signed my receipt from the stolen credit card that I stole from insert C actor's name. You know,
Yeah.
like I stole it from fucking the father from Family Matters or something. Yeah. But yeah, he was a goofball, man. I fucking love that guy. He's hilarious.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man. So these are the things like, God damn it. See, even like I'm looking at my Facebook, my YouTube feed here because I was gonna try to get pull some ideas from this, right?
Yeah.
And okay, this is my stuff. It's either UFC news or MMA news.
Yeah.
Something that's going to be anti-Biden, which is weird because I'm not necessarily. It's not like I hate Biden. You know what I mean?
Oh, I fucking can't stand that old fuck.
Right. Well, the thing is, I don't feel that one way about him. What was it? Rick says, catch Dean Cain's latest Sci-Fi Channel movie, Badger Sharks from Cleveland. You know what? I'm in. That's good. Let's see. Hilarious Cobra Kai bloopers. I've never watched the show. I don't know why they're on there. Video
yeah,
gun.
Sharknado can make movies, then
Fair enough. Let's see.
Yeah.
Gun videos. Let's see. Lyrics that songs that everybody gets wrong. Stuff by Russell Brand. I will listen to Russell Brand. Tim Pool, I gotta stop clicking on any of his videos because he comes up with the most interesting clickbaity freaking headlines. And I'll click on it and I'll be like 30 seconds into it and I'm like, this wasn't worth it. Because, it just turns it and devolves into the culture war is upon us, and I'm like, damn it.
Well,
and I like Tim Pool, but I'm like, dude, I can't listen to you, man. You're too negative, bro.
whenever see, this is what I'm talking about, like black pill.
Mm-hmm.
Whenever he gets too black pilled,
mm-hmm.
that's black pill.
Right.
That's a black pill. That's like the culture's collapsing around us. Buy a food bucket. All the shit like that. That's black pill. Like you're black pill.
Should we get a GoFundMe to see if we can raise enough money to get Tim Pool some mushrooms, and we'll see what happens.
Yeah, that would probably help. I'm telling you, man. That shit saved me, man. That shit saved my soul.
Oh yeah. He said, listen to a bit of Russell Brand. Liked how he's changed from being a douche, but he does sound like the sound of his own voice. Yeah, that's true. It's really weird how Russell Brand is kind of. I like that he's using his comic mind to just observe things. He's always been kind of an activist, or very much of an activist, and he does. It's like he owns every aspect of himself, and it's more of a solid version of his. But yeah, dude, that dude will go on forever.
Speaking of comics, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Is he right? Quick RIP to Bob Saget.
Oh yes, that's
that bummed me out, man. I did not see that one coming.
Yeah, I don't think anybody did. That was just out of nowhere, man.
That bummed me out, man. He was fucking awesome.
Yeah, the worst part is I have to look on Facebook and watch everybody talk about Bob Saget. Yet still make it about them.
Yep.
That was really harsh. That was the worst part of Bob Saget dying. And dude, Bob Saget gave me a French fry one time, or actually threw it at me because I was bothering him. But he was so nice the way that he did it. He was just so nice. What a gentleman. Rest in power. Like shut the fuck up.
Especially because comics, because it's all about us and stuff. I get that.
But I mean, some folks actually said, "Hey, this was one of the best nights I ever had opening for them." Like, I get that. Yeah.
Yeah. Did you ever get to see him live or no?
No. The only Bob Saget story that I have isn't even from me. It's from, what's his name? Aaron. He was a manager, or he worked at Comedy Works for a short period of time.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, and he was telling me, like, you'd have to do some crazy things, like, one night, and he was telling me, like, oh, Bob Saget was there for the weekend, right? And it's, like, Thursday night or Friday night or something. He was like, hey, man, I know I'm supposed to get my check at the end, but I need an advance because I want to go to the casinos after this, so can you get me 20 grand? And he had to go and try to find 20 grand in cash at, like, 5:30 in downtown Denver. And so he was going to all these different, like, trying to... I don't know how he did it, but he found a way to make sure that he got the money by the time the show was done. And I'm like, oh, that's interesting,
wow.
And it's not like Bob Saget was like, hey, smacks him in the face. I'm Bob Saget. Give me 20 grand, bitch. It's not like that, but that was just one of those things where, like, yeah, let me see what I have in the register,
Yeah. Yeah. You took the safe full of fucking, I saw him live in Worcester, Mass.
Mm.
Worcester, Mass, part of the Opie and Anthony Traveling Virus show.
Oh, nice.
It was at an arena. It was at a fucking like a hockey arena.
Wow.
A lot of people. I saw this was the lineup. I saw it was Rich Voss was hosting.
Mm-hmm.
It was Robert Kelly, Jim Norton. Who else was on it? Jim. Who else? Fuck.
That's a lot of sleaze bags already there. That's a lot of sleaze
right?
over a show.
Ralphie May came out and just told nothing but all he did was tell fingering jokes. Right. That's all he told.
He's just channeling his inner bear. Got it.
Yeah. Then I saw Bob Saget, and then closing out the show was Tracy Morgan.
How was that?
No, dude, people weren't laughing at his shit, but I thought he was hilarious.
Really?
He was just, he was off the wall. Saget though was dirty, but like he was like one of the jokes that he always that he told that stuck with me was he goes, "So my ex-wife is fucking rich."
Mm-hmm.
Then he pauses and goes, "That's her new boyfriend's name,
yeah.
Rich."
Oh, did you ever watch his Dangerfield set? Like, people don't remember this Dangerfield set because on that same Rodney Dangerfield, like, he would introduce, like, it was a showcase of up-and-coming comics, and the big star of that was Sam Kinison. And after that, he got, like, an HBO special out of that. But I don't know if Dice was on that one, but Bob Saget was also on it. And it's basically, like, all these one-liners that just crash into each other, but it's like rapid-fire jokes, what he does, where he's like, I have been with my wife for 7 years. That's how old she is. I'm going to jail. You shouldn't have laughed at that. That was bad. That was bad. No, I'm not seriously. I love her dealer. I'm head over nuts for her. And I see that was another one. You shouldn't have laughed at that one either. But he's just railed it through it. I'm like, oh man, there wasn't a lot of comics like him. I wouldn't say it was like it's not necessarily the type of comedy that I really dig, but it's funny. So. It's better than the open mic shit that I've been seeing. So.
Oh, I bet, man. I bet. That's actually one of the reasons why I haven't been going out that much, if at all. Excuse me. Because man, it's getting to the point now where like, there's a reason why I don't like improv. All right.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going somewhere with this. Trust me. Right?
Fair enough.
I don't like doing improv because there's a wide gap between terrible improv and great improv. I've seen great improv. It's possible. I'm not saying the whole art is garbage, but I've seen great improv.
Mm-hmm.
But there's no in between. Either it's amazing or it's fucking dog shit.
Yeah.
And there's more dog shit than there is great shit. And that's kind of how towards me living in Denver, that's how I felt about going to open mics.
Yeah.
Like I would go to these open mics, there'd be 50 fucking comics in the goddamn place, and 45 of them would be fucking terrible.
Yeah.
And they're just and it just sucks and it's not fun. It drains all your energy.
Mm-hmm.
And then you go up on stage and you're just like, what the fuck am I doing here?
Yeah.
It just takes me out of it. So I don't know. It's just bad comedy now just makes my fucking this runs a chill up my back. I'm like,
Now, granted, I didn't stay for the whole night. Usually, if I go to Christine's mic, Tavern on 26. If you want to know about more open mics in the Colorado area, go to coopenmics.com. That guy actually tries to update that thing at least once a week instead of once every 6 months when he needs to pay for something. Now, the zing. All right. If I get there, I'll try to get there at 5:30, right? And if the list is out, boom, I want to go up first. Like, I'm not waiting around the whole night. I'll jump on the grenade. I don't give a shit. Let's get this party started. Yeah. And even if I don't have, I have a couple of good ideas. And I was just basically talking about the TRT, the testosterone replacement therapy. And this one I was really glad because Jade Rose was in the front. And this isn't finished, but I'll just tell you what it was. And I said, yeah, I'm on the sauce now. 46 years old, and I'm on the testosterone replacement therapy, and I had all the signs like weight gain, low energy, respect for women, all the signs that basically would tell you that you don't have that something's wrong. And I saw the look on Christine and Jade's face, and I'm like, I'm disappointed in me too. Okay. Then I went into
fuck them. That's a funny funny joke.
Well, the
Fuck
whole
'em.
idea is that I'm like, listen, I thought I worked really hard in my life to respect women, to treat them not like sexual objects, but to just to appreciate them for the beauty that they are. And unfortunately, no, I just had low T. That was the only reason that I was able to do that. And
It's
so,
not a respect. It's basically what you're saying is it wasn't a respectable angle.
yeah,
It was just that your body was malfunctioning. That's why you felt like that.
exactly. Which I thought was pretty funny. So I was working at that. So I'm getting this stuff, and not everybody's laughing, but some of the old folks at the bar, because I'm basically playing to the old guys at the bar, literally a bunch of old guys at the bar. There, Rick, if you're still in
Yeah.
here listening, but because some of the comics will laugh, some of them not. I saw some good sets, like some guys who I've never seen before, and they actually, you could tell that they've been doing it for at least 5 years, and they have a good
Yeah.
fucking set. I'm like, that's pretty awesome. But then I've also seen guys that have been doing this for I know at least for a couple of years now, and they're better than when they started, but they haven't been better in the past year or so. You know what I mean? And after a while, it just
Yeah.
gets tired of watching it. I'm like, man, come on, guys, why are you here? If you're just here to hang out and drink with your friends, and fucking hang out in the back and drink with your friends. But
Yeah.
I don't know.
But I mean, maybe 45 out of 50 is a little strong. Don't get me wrong. I mean, there's a lot of guys
Yeah,
there,
44.
but it
Come
was
on.
like, yeah, come on now. But like, I would hang out. That's why I stopped going to the fucking lair. That's why I stopped going to the Lions lair. That's why I stopped going to a lot of these mics. That's why I stopped really going to El Torito,
Fair
because
enough.
they would always put me up kind of towards the end, which
Hey, what's
fucking
up,
annoyed the
Reskin?
hell out of me.
Sorry, Daniel Reskin's in the room. I think, or at least he was at
All
one
right,
point.
what's up,
So.
Ruskin? He's probably scouting me out to see if I want to do his podcast about why I quit stand up.
Yeah, I know. It's kind of like, wait a second, why is Daniel Reskin here? Wait, shit, I got to get to a mic.
Oh shit!
Stand Down, by the way, great podcast. Go check out Dando Rando. He's in the chat room right now, guys. Go check out his channel. It's fucking great. I'm sorry.
But no, I mean, it just I would go on later and stuff, like super late and stuff, and I have to sit through a bunch of like newbies and people who just aren't good, and it was just fucking, I don't know. Plus the joy of it kind of got sucked out of me. Plus, like, there was like, I was there for so long that there were like generations and generations and generations of comics that I wasn't a part of. Like, I was kind of, I was like kind of part of the old guard in a weird way, like not
Right.
really a part of it, but that's who I started with. You know what I'm saying? Like, what's that? What? Oh.
No, Reskin was like, "Hey, fellas, vent it out." I'm like, "All right, fair enough."
Well, I mean, I'm not. It's just it is what it is. I'm not saying like I deserve that. I deserve better. I just
No,
that's just
exactly.
how it
No.
played out. But no, but like, and then like when they left, the new guard came in. Then when they left, it seemed like every 2 years shit was switched around, and I never really caught traction with those other groups after that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean, I did, but I didn't. Like they all liked me. I'm not saying they didn't like me, but I just never really caught on. Again, no one's fault really. If there is any fault, it's probably mine. But that's just what happened. And it kind of towards the end, it kind of bummed me out a little bit because I was like, oh, fuck, I'm not going anywhere here. Because again, it's not no one's fault. It's just what happened.
Yeah.
But it is what it is. I mean, I'm not like this isn't a trashing session where I'm like, comic X is a piece of shit.
No, you have to listen to the last episode when Hannibal before he left for Phoenix if you want to listen to that one, guys.
Yeah, right. I name names.
Yeah.
I was like, how dare?
Let me pull out the list. All right, this bitch,
right.
this bitch, this bitch.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, you know what it is? I enjoy when I actually get up on stage. I enjoy every moment of it. I enjoy when I can actually make a joke work. That's all great. It's just the waiting around, and I don't want to be. I remember when we first started back out here, because we came to Denver close to the same, around the same time, and you'd see some old guys that get really pissed off, like, dude, I'm not fucking waiting around to do 3 minutes, and we're like, well, shit, that's what we got to do, man. What's going on?
Yeah.
And so I don't want to turn into one of those guys, but I'm just being more selective. I don't know. When I get back from my trip,
that was the problem. That's why I felt myself getting better.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to be that guy because I see those guys a lot, and it's not a good look, and I don't like, and it's not who I am. I really don't want to be that guy.
Yeah.
So I started being like, all right, maybe I should just switching it up or something. I don't know. It just didn't. I felt like I was going down a bad road, and I just was like, let's turn around or
Well, there has to definitely have to be a point where you got to go to you got to do something different, or you got to go to a different
Yeah.
scene and start over again because, like, I think I'm consistently funny now, right? If you put me up in any stage in Colorado, I'm gonna get at least a couple of laughs. I'm not saying I'm gonna crush, but I'm gonna get a couple of laughs, right? And
Yeah.
so for a complete stranger to go in there and make other strangers laugh, that's nothing to sneeze at. The thing is that if I had stayed in Phoenix where I started out, man, nobody ever would have saw that in me because they saw me when I first started and I sucked. People
Well, I
when
mean,
Denver
that's
saw me, I was 2 years in and actually had a couple of good jokes under my belt.
yeah. I mean, that's the thing is Denver's a great scene. It really is.
Yeah.
Like, even when it sucks, it's still better than a lot of places.
Right.
I'll be honest with you. Like, even on its worst days, it's still better than it's still better than fucking doing shows when I was in fucking Portland, Maine, or like, and I love Portland. Don't get me wrong, but it's like the amount of opportunity you can get here versus Portland
Mm-hmm.
is. I just by here I mean Denver, not
Yeah.
Phoenix. Because I don't even know what Phoenix is like. I don't know if it's full of killers or the whole scene stuff. I have no idea.
Yeah, I don't know either, really.
Yeah, I really don't know. And it's a big area, so there's a lot of places to go to.
The only mics I
So
would
I
be
think
interested going to seeing would be Tempe Tavern, just because I've known Jeremy Ditto. We started about the same time. The guy who runs that one, and then there's two mics right across the street from each other on Grand Avenue. So at least there's that now. But yeah, I don't know what else, man. It's weird because I see a lot, not a lot. I mean, some of the mics in the Phoenix scene are like clean comedy only, which there's nothing wrong with that. I don't think because everybody needs to have a clean set. I guess if you wanted to, but I think if every mic was like that, I would be like, yeah, that's not good. It's just the same way. Like I would feel that way if they said, hey, we're only doing dirty sex jokes. With this mic, you can't do any clean comedy. I'm like, well, I don't think that's gonna, make any good comedy either. So, but I don't know. Go ahead, take a look at phxopenmics.com and you can see what I'm talking about, guys. Just take a look at that list.
I've been looking. Yeah, I've been looking at it. It's weird how like the mics start at a early. They start early. Like there's one mic that starts at like fucking 3 p.m.
Yeah, on a Saturday or some shit.
Yeah, I was like, well, I'm like okay. I thought about hitting that one up. I might do that one. It's a theater. It's probably like a black box theater, but it's a theater.
Is that the one in Mesa?
Maybe, I don't know.
Mm.
Oh, also, I got a question since you lived here for a while.
Yeah.
Is Mesa kind of like a racist town?
You're in Arizona, buddy.
Okay, fair enough. I mean,
no, Mesa. Well, it. You got to remember, Arizona is is one of the fucking youngest states in the union, right?
Yeah, it's just in the continental United States, it is the youngest state.
Yeah. So, good scene has a variety of shows. This, as Reskin says, a good scene has a variety of shows. Doing a variety of shows will make you a solid comic. In theory, yeah, I guess. I don't know. I've never done a lot of clean comedy sets. I always stayed away from Comedy Works during Christmas time. I haven't been back there in a long time. If they drop the vaccine card thing, if we ever get past all that shit, I'll be more than happy to go back. Other than that, my rule is that if you want me to show you my card, you need to pay me, especially if it's for comedy. And either way, that's just how I feel. I'm like, hey, I'm an entertainer. I'm not like a saint. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
I'm not saying I'm not a whore for attention. You got to pay the pill. No, Mesa, up until I would say about 20 years ago, Mesa was predominantly Mormons. Predominantly lived there.
Yep.
Right, and Mormons are super nice people, but they also held every office. They had also what is the black pill? The black pill. Oh, sorry, you came in late. The black pill is basically, there's blue pill, red pill. The black pill is just bitterness, right? You're just cynical, and you stop giving a shit about everything. Like most comics, basically. Like we gargle that shit. You know what I mean? So Mesa, even though there's a lot of their laws and everything was designed to keep the Mormon community kind of safe. So if you didn't agree with that, you didn't necessarily feel like it was the most comfortable place to live in. Oy vey. Yeah, we can't call it. Well, never mind. I'm not going to go there.
No, the reason why I ask is because there's a guy I work with, and he's Mexican, right?
Right.
He's in his Cuco. but I found him on Facebook, and his name, that's like his middle name.
Right.
His like full name is like some, I can't even pronounce his fucking name, but it's Mexican,
Mm-hmm.
which is fine. He's a great guy. I fucking love
Yeah.
the guy. He's a really like straight shooter, and really and all that stuff. He's a really good dude, family man, all that stuff.
Right.
He bought a house in Mesa. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Lived there for like 2 years. He's like, I'm fucking out of here.
Wow.
Because like I guess like his wife will. He doesn't. He's like, yeah, this is racist shit. He's like, whatever, fuck them. I can just fucking go about my day and not fucking worry about it.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, my wife though will go to the grocery store, and like all these white folks will be like, what are you doing here? Like, I basically give him that look of like, how dare you be here? You fucking Mexican, fucking you border jumper, shit like that. And it's like, whoa, what the fuck, man? So like, he decided to like, he sold his house, and now he's like moving on the other side, the west side of Phoenix, like near Avondale and shit.
Okay.
And he's going
Completely different type of white trash.
Yeah.
But there's a lot more agriculture and stuff out there in Avondale, I think. Or not agriculture, but there's a lot more Latinos and stuff like that.
Okay.
But yeah, South Phoenix was predominantly African American. Glendale and all the spot that was usually Caucasian. Mesa was like Mormon Caucasian. Scottsdale was just white people with money. Tempe were college kids with money. Chandler was all the adults that grew up out of Tempe, and then they wanted to move someplace else. And so Chandler is this weird kind of blend of Tempe and Mesa, and
it is.
it's kind of weird. I don't know. There's a lot of cool things about Arizona, but I think they've had a lot more people move in and different cultures move in. Like I remember when I first moved here in the 90s, I didn't see a lot of people from India, and there's a lot more people from India living there now. You see a lot more Middle Eastern refugees and stuff after the last Gulf War. There was so there was a lot of that.
My brother worked in the restaurant industry here, and he worked with three Iraqis, which is I'm like, really? He's like, oh yeah, because like a lot of them come over here as refugees, and it's kind of the perfect climate for them because that's where they're from.
I asked a friend of mine, the guy who I worked with and stuff, who was like, it's so weird. I inherited this from my father. My father, because he grew up really poor, he was always able to communicate with other poor people regardless of whatever race they were from. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
and on top of that, my dad looked kind of like a rough dude anyways, and it was the type of guy that you would rather him be your friend than your enemy. And so he got to know a lot of people, and I kind of learned a lot from watching him. So when I was working at the airport, there's a lot of these guys from Iraq, and I remember one of my managers was like, man, we need to get some more talented people back there. And I'm like, yeah, do you know how many doctors we have working back there in the food court? And he was like, what? I'm like, we've got 2 doctors, a chemical engineer, and a college professor. And he's like, you're kidding me. I'm like, no, have you actually talked to any of these guys? They're like, no. And I'm like, yeah, because I would talk to these guys, and I'm like, hey, my friend, how you doing today? Like, yeah, so what did you study back then? I'm like, oh, this is really fascinating, And just the fact, if you just give a little bit of a shit about where somebody's from and like have a genuine interest, then you made a friend for life. But Arizona didn't have a lot of that opportunity, so they were kind of isolated for the most part. Because up until like 20, 30 years ago, why would you want to move to Phoenix? It's in the desert. There's nicer places to live at. You can go to Colorado. You can go to California, even though that's a desert too. But you can be a movie star out there. New Mexico, way prettier desert, Texas, better barbecue. There was all these different reasons to not live in Arizona. So now that there's all these more folks, it's going to take some time, but they got to get used to different cultures and all this different stuff. And, they'll be fine. I always have to remember that it's not like New York City was always been a welcoming, melting pot for every culture that moved there. There's always been a transition or a transition period and stuff, and it's always been kind of rough. But, New York has, 200 years, a head start on a lot of the rest of the country. So sometimes it just takes time, I think,
Yeah.
Holy shit, man. It's been over an hour.
Oh, damn.
Damn. That's probably a good place to wrap it up, right?
Yeah, talk about how racist this town is.
Yeah, exactly. You heard it here first, folks. There's racists who live in Arizona.
Breaking news.
But hey, guess what? You can be friends with anybody, I say. Hey, I
Oh
want to
yeah.
say thanks to Random Rick Review underscore triple R, man. Thanks for coming in and chatting with us, man. We really appreciate that.
Hell yeah.
Daniel Ruskin. That's right. I just doxed him. You can go check out his channel over on Twitch, man. And you know what? I wonder. Let's see if I can do this. 1 minute now. Say
What are you
hi.
trying to do?
Thanks, guys. Hey, we need to talk about Twitch etiquette. All right. Yeah, I know. What's that? Let's see. I'm also trying to find. God damn. Hey, Resk, are you actually going to be broadcasting soon here, man, or are you heading off? Otherwise, I was going to um, send folks over to your channel here. No, he's not on tonight. All right. Well, maybe we'll work something out at some point, man. But either way, I want to say thanks for tuning in. We really appreciate it, man. Listen to Shoot the
Yeah.
Shit. You can go to Comedy Hub, can't we? All right. It's an online comedy club on Twitch. All right.
Oh.
Comedy Hub, talk shows and podcasts. There's like 95 or 94 people in there right now. So, you know what? We're gonna send anybody who's listening over here. They're gonna go over to Comedy Hub and tell everybody we said hi. So signing off for Mansplaining, I'm Dave.
I'm Jake.
Y'all stay toxic. Have a good night.
Yeah.
All right, we're stop recording and the stream.